All right. So we, I think, potentially have some pretty exciting news, but we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into it. And that is the fact that we may now know the release date for the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So let's check this out. So over here on my boys, right, Twitter page, shout out to Neo for sharing this information with me. He was the one that brought it to my attention. So shout out to Neo. How you going, brother? Dynasty says here, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection's release date might have just been leaked via Xbox. 30th of the 9th, 2025. That's the day after my birthday. Can they move that shit forward a day? Can we have as a special request, right? Apparently it's going to be approximately 16 gig. All right, so let's have a look. This is what it says over here, and I'll scroll down. I'll move it down so you guys can read this. Everything's in place. Yep. Online play, blah 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 blah. Right, but the real sort of meat and potatoes of this is, of course. Hang on, let's get this in. Right, the release date there, which is pretty cool. Okay. And then, of course, over here, it actually showcases the apparent like download size or install size for it as well, right? Now, some of this correlates up. So I actually think like he's on a winner here. So shout out to him. But let's check this out because, yeah. Now, this is the official Xbox.com US website for, and this is the page for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. I've already checked the what do you call it, the Mortal Kombat like the Mortal Kombat page for the Legacy Collection over on the Australian website. Where's that falling apart over there? What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Anyway, just my shit's falling apart. So over here, right, it says it's for smart delivery, right? It obviously has like a breakdown and showing more and stuff like this here as well, published by Atari. So my previous video talking about you know, essentially what appeared to look like notification that websites were getting of a potential earlier release date a couple of years back. It's very interesting how there's no mention of Warner Brothers anywhere publishing it, even slightly involved, right? And then developed by Digital Eclipse. No release date. However, if you click on more, okay, again, so this is like, obviously this is, you know, for Xbox, obviously languages, but it does mention over here 16 gigabyte. Right? So what Dynasty posted is what I would consider to be accurate. I'm just going to go with the flow here and go, yep, that sounds like fairly legitimate. Go away from the food. Vamonos. Right, now if we check the date for what day that is, the 30th is a Tuesday. Right, so that's a Tuesday. My birthday's on the Monday, right? So it'll be pretty interesting, actually, if this ends up being true. Now, this is on the official site, so this is official size. So 16 gigabyte matches up both with what Dynasty posted and, of course, what we're, you know, cross-referencing here. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now, that gives us all of August and pretty much almost all of September for them to sort of divulge certain information and stuff like that, which is pretty groovy. If we go back over to here, though, so it gives sort of like some detail. Obviously, it's gonna have. And let's fix that up. Right, we've known some of this, no more secrets. Blah blah blah. Touch of a button, all secrets change game settings and access the very developer menus to play the games your way, which will obviously be the EJB menus back from the arcade. Which were only in recent times discovered. Interactive documentary, deep behind-the-scenes content chronicles the history of the franchise, blah, 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 of course. That's going to be absolutely amazing. having interviews with not only just Ed Boon and John Tobias, but of course Dan Forden, John Vogel, and more. And then the full story, which will be, I don't know what is that doing? What is that doing? Just stop moving. Oh my god, I clicked on the wrong one. All right. The detailed character histories and timelines traced an epic narrative of Earthrealm, Outworld, and Edenia through the arcade era. So that's pretty cool, man. All right, that is very, very cool. All right, so shout out to Neo for sharing this information. Shout out to Dynasty for posting this. It gives us a good bit of time. Now, let's talk about the actual download size. So I can't show you for obvious reasons, but I'm just going to check a couple of things. Right? I'm going to check. So all the games that they have listed so far are very tiny. Right? Now, obviously, you got to account for the fact that they're going to have video in there. That's going to take up space, blah, blah, blah. Right? So things like ROMs, and that could be an approximate size too. Okay? But if we, for example, come in and check what the file size is for, say, you know, MK Gold, right? What have we got here? So let's check. Mortal Kombat Gold file size is only 1.1 gigabyte. That's not super big. Okay? And to give you a reference here, if we're looking at like Game Gear versions of, like, say, Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, they are so tiny, like, it's just, like, we're talking kilobytes. Right, so Mortal Kombat 1 is like 371 kilobytes. Mortal Kombat 2 is 387 kilobytes. Do you know what I mean? Like, so obviously you gotta factor in, obviously, like, the size of the operating, like the menus and all that sort of stuff. But considering that we're still waiting for the remaining games to be revealed, right? Which we're all, at least I think most of us are hoping for Trilogy. Most of us are hoping for MK Gold, and then whatever the other two are, you know. And again, we're going by the 4 question marks that are shown to not show anything in the trailer. I like 16 gig is pretty big, right? Obviously, we'll have access to all the soundtracks again. That can be very tiny as well, right? We don't have to have like, you know, we don't have to have like the soundtrack, you know, being at a lossless rate, you know, which would take up so much space. Like that'd just be a waste of resources, right? So even something like, if we look at something like Mortal Kombat Trilogy, right, on the PlayStation 1, like that isn't big at all. That's 550 megabyte, right? So when I see like the 16 gig, it's like, oh, okay, all right. So, you know, obviously, like, yeah, you'll have obviously the menus, so that obviously takes up space. The emulators, which won't be very big at all, and then the games themselves, and looking at like the list of games that they've already like announced. Like, so what's the Mortal Kombat? What do we got? We got the Game Boy Advance versions, right? So we got Mortal Kombat Advance, which is like 8 megabyte. Right? Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, 16 megabytes. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, 16 megabytes. Right? So 16 gig is pretty big when you factor in the size of the ROMs, and them being so tiny, and probably the biggest ROM that they could add to the roster of games would be MK Gold. Now, let me just double check quickly, because I've always advocated that they should have the trilogy, like the PC version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, because it is the superior one. That particular version is only 147 megabytes. That's tiny. Like, that is fucking tiny. Okay? So, I sincerely think that, you know, yeah, they're going to have video in there, sure. Right? But I don't think, like, I don't think it's going to take up, like, I don't think that's going to explain away a large majority of it. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, obviously you'll have things in there, like they'll have, like, you'll be able to see, no doubt, if given their other, you know, things that they've done, you'll have access to the box art, you know, maybe the comics, manuals, obviously the soundtracks. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, we need those announcements. We fucking need those announcements, man. So far, judging by this, at least the 16 gig correlates up with both the Xbox site and, of course, what Dynasty posted. And then the release date, I actually think that's a winner. I actually think it's going to be that. So we'll just wait and see. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.